you got a bit of the picture. That is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You agree with me on that, right?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be. But we are, because everything we consume, basically media and education, they write it, they put us in a state of mind where they make us believe we are inferior, so we can't do this. You know, many brown people don't even have self-beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, self-esteem, self-beliefs.
Yeah.
So they strip us of those through the media, and now we are just powerless.
But like now, looking at how far this thing has gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's still a chance for us to change things? Because like looking at things now, like you said, educationally, that's how things are instilled in our brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how do you go about changing an entire system now as to...
Yeah, very interesting. The point here is you must look at the condition of brown people. Are brown people benefiting generally from the system? And if they are benefiting, how? You got the point?
You know what? Like when you speak of benefiting, this goes back to traitoring. There are brown people who are somewhat traitors to us, other brown people, in the means of for financial gain.
Okay.
You know, if you one of us, and you alone decide to go behind our back and work with the Europeans to dominate over us.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get your fair share of individual dominance, financial gain, where you don't look at the bigger picture, but you're looking only for yourself. You know what I mean? So I think it's too late for us to try and change the system.
No,
because if
it's not.
It's a matter of trade. We have traitors.
Why do you think it's too late? Because what you said, even about traitors, I will say no. It's not that. You know why I'm gonna say that?
Yeah.
Because our thinking, perception, feeling, opinion is shaped by European.
Yeah.
Because your brain can only speak what it knows. Do you know that?
That's true.
If most of what you know as a human being is put in your mind by European, you're gonna speak just what you know. It means if you don't know how to speak Chinese, you can't speak Chinese. It's the same with the mind. If the mind does not know that you have to do things based on your own interest, you understand? You will not do it. But when you go to school, it's the Europeans that have written it. But if you compare what the English children learn from primary to university, and if you compare what the Chinese children learn from primary to university, if you compare what the Iranian children learn from primary to, it's totally different stuff. Because each one has designed is educative system based on the culture, interest, and agenda. But in our case, we don't design nothing. They design it based on keeping us in a mindset which makes us accept a certain way of doing things. So those so-called traitors are generally mentally enslaved or conditioned, and they're just doing what the brain knows. Because why would you want to get 1 rand if 2 billion is supposed to be yours? You understand? Because because all the food we are eating, the money is going to them. But imagine if we say we don't want to buy the food, we're going to buy our own food. You understand? That means those billions we spend on the food going to go to brown people. Those brown people are going to employ people. You understand? And those is going to expand. The same apply if we say we won't buy clothes made by them, or we say we won't buy lotion made. You understand? So it is our right, because we are financing the economies. So those people are just mentally blinded because we grew up conditions from school, media. So that means we are blinded.
We are blinded.
We are blinded. And we think this is freedom when we are colonized, because our African languages are even dying.
So with us being so blinded, so many, how do you make that change?
Exactly. So that means those who have seen, the few that wakes up, right, from the mental prison, the thing, have to
influence.
Have to share with information with the blind to try to pull them out. Just like earlier you said, EFF, they're a bunch of hooligans or whatever. But EFF and the Malema are seen. That's what I've seen. Why? Because they're speaking about economic freedom in our lifetime. They're speaking about black consciousness. They speak about end of white supremacy because they understand, at least I will say partially, I don't know fully, they have a great understanding that the system is oppressing brown Africans. But because the media is controlled by who? By the European who have illegal dominance over brown Africans. So they're gonna paint Malema and EFF as a bunch of, that's what they will always do.
But you know what makes them seem that way? It's not even a matter of being painted or whatnot. It's like I said, there's an intellectual way of dealing with things. And as much as he's fighting against white supremacy and whatnot, it's the way he does things that turns out as vulgar and somewhat. But how, when a people in their own countries are reduced to view themselves as inferior generally, and to view the historical oppressors as superior, when brown African women are basically used as sex objects, when the whole order demonize the brown people, I mean, is there anything in that society that show that there is even an intellectualism? This is a brute violation of people's rights. And me, I will not deal with such a people in a so-called polite manner because they are oppressing us. The problem is those who are in mental prison don't see the oppression, you understand? Because they are basically the brain has no data about how their right has been violated. So they're gonna think because if you're oppressed, let's say if I'm attacking you, you're gonna fight back generally. So actually the reaction of the people that are oppressed that sees won't be calm, you understand? It's just a normal human reaction. So even EFF is polite, I think they do, but because have you seen the media in this country show the illegal dominance over every spheres of brown Africans' lives in this country? They don't show because they are covering it. So they fill the media, the brains, the TV with non-issues. Actually, based on my research, there is not even an iota of positivity brown people get from the TV. It just introduces immorality in the brain, sleeping around. All the movies are about sex or violence. It teaches people to be violent. They even allow music called gangster rap, which speaks about fuck bitch, fuck, a music that teaches people to behave in a backward way. They allow it. So if you open your analysis, you're gonna see that the whole society is vulgar. They allow things like prostitution to be, but prostitution is disease because one woman who sleeps with 100 men maybe in 2 months, she's gonna get disease because some condom gonna break. So how do they allow things like script shows? They produce all kind of insanities all over the place. So how can you? So they pretend, they just put people in a psychological mindset where it's vulgar, but the whole order is vulgar, or whatever you call it. You understand? So actually, it is only brain darkness that they keep. They put like a cap on our brain, not to see how vulgar things are.
Things are. Women dress like prostitutes. It's all how the society is set up. Like that things, you can even see the form of the vagina. I mean, this is not
camel toe. Camel toe. They call it a camel toe.
You got a point. So it's even porn or whatever. So you can see everything is vulgar, but because they made people feel this is civilization. So people don't see it, but it's not. You got a point. So EFF is acting in a perfect way. To me, they are even soft. They're even soft because the pain is too much. If you see, because I see brown Africans being phased out. They've been saying Obama, the first black president. Obama mother is white, what I call pink. Why do they call a 50% European person black, not white? That's racism. They never call colored white. You understand? So if you see, it is just they own us. Because they own us, they put things in your brain, you just repeat it. So you don't look at your own interest. Everybody, brown Africans suffering everywhere, brown African women, basically every time you see a pink European, man with a brown woman, it's rape. Do you know why?
When you see a pink
European
woman,
guy with a brown African woman, it's rape.
It's
Do you
rape
know why?
in whose mind?
I'm saying the brown woman is being raped. You know why?
Why?
Because they have conditions, brown people generally, to view pink people as superior. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Romantic, civilized, kind. It's a mind conditioning.
Yeah, okay, I've heard all of those before.
Yeah. So you know that. So they have conditioned our brain and given an illusion of grandiose for pink people. Yeah. So when a pink guy approaches a brown woman, for her it's like a dream come true because of the mind.
Glamorous life.
That is civilized. So she's gonna give herself easily. So that means the fact that she's gonna easily even sleep with him on the spot is due to mind conditioning, not her own free state of mind, which means rape.